What's up guys, it's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to PXA Peeks at the early access release of In Case of Emergency Release Raptor. Yes indeed, though this comes to us from Arcen Games, which is an interesting, very small team developer. They have produced a number of games over the years in a number of different genres, and they're the kind of developer I like in the sense that they are very open and transparent about their development process. They thrive on fan feedback, and they are very candid about what has worked for them and what has not. Some of their games have not been big successes. They've almost closed down, actually, more than once. And I've always found that very refreshing to see how open they are. And this is their latest effort, which is in early access right now for $5. So, one thing I will give these guys credit for is that they are... I'm going to let you see the how to play here, because this is very basic right now. One thing I appreciate is that these developers do early access right, which is that in early access the game is inexpensive. It's only $5 right now, and it's going to go up in price as it evolves further, and their goal is to release it at $15. But if you want to buy in early, they reward you with a lower price. That's the way early access should be done and rarely is. But this early $5 version of the game is not, it's barely a game. I would call it more of a tech demo, or even more unflatteringly, a prototype. There's only one game mode in here right now, and it is a game mode where you cannot be hurt, but it counts how many times you get hit. It's what they're calling the power trip mode. There's only 3 levels, 2 of which are pre-constructed, which are the 2 guys in the bottom right there. And the one above it is procedurally generated. I'm going to show you them all because they're all incredibly short. So, this game has a goofy premise. Basically, the robots went crazy and took over a bunch of humans. I think humanity is either dead or mostly dead. And the idea is that you are a genetically engineered dinosaur, a raptor, that was designed to fight robots, and you are to be released in case of emergency, which is what's happened. So, you're released, and your goal is to take out the robots and what is called Father Brain. And Father Brain is the big, sort of monolithic entity that's controlling all these things, I guess. Father Brain is not in these 2 pre-generated levels. It is in the procedurally generated level, though. Now, the first thing you might notice here is that this game actually has a pretty nice look to it. Like, a lot of the texture work is actually really good. And you see it can be played in first or third person here. And your dinosaur actually looks pretty good. And the animations are a little rough, but it looks like they definitely got a good idea going there, right? But you may notice something else. Now, I'm curious how well this is translating on the video, but do you guys notice that there's a weird little shimmer, especially when it's in motion? Like, the frames almost make it look like it's got bad frame timing or something. So this game does have an internal frame rate counter, and it's apparently running at about 120 to 160 frames a second on my machine. The counter's off right now, but keep in mind, I have a GTX 1080, and this is a Unity game. Now, people have heard my many complaints about Unity over the last while, the biggest of which is that Unity games tend to have exceptionally high system requirements and rarely have the looks to justify that. That's kind of the problem here. But the weird thing is this game is, in fact, according to its own metrics, running very, very well, but it doesn't look like it is. I don't know what this shimmer is. I've tried to adjust almost every graphical option, of which there are actually quite a few to their credit. I'll show you that here, actually. So yeah, as you can see, the options menu is actually fairly significant. It's running in 1080p. You have to set that in the little Unity pre-launch thing. But I've tried adjusting everything, and I can't get rid of this shimmer. So I'm not sure what that is. So hopefully that will get fixed in future. And well, the reason I called this a tech demo or a prototype is there's basically nothing in it right now. There's these 3 levels where all you have to do is take out a certain amount of robots. And in the procedurally generated level, that releases Father Brain. You kill Father Brain, and that's it. And you're graded on it. And the goal is to not take any damage. But the problem is your Raptor doesn't control very well. Everything is very floaty and very mushy. And it's very hard to dodge enemies. And what they suggest is that you only play in this first-person mode that I'm in right now when you're in close. But the third-person mode, it just doesn't control very well. Now, this is with a mouse and keyboard. This game does support a controller, and the controller does play this mode a little bit better. But the problem is see, you're controlling the camera with the mouse, but your Raptor doesn't follow the camera. You control your Raptor's position with the arrow keys as well. And that does give you a bit more precision, but at the same time, it's supposed to be more precise, but it just feels clunky. And it's very, very hard to avoid getting hit in this, even when you're really trying to and strategizing. It just feels like you're going to get hit too often. It just feels like you're going to get hit and take damage in not a very fair way, I guess is the way to put it. Like even if you did things right, you can't avoid it. And you see here the physics are a little weird too. Everything breaks up into these very large chunks and then just dissolves. Again, that's probably something that's going to be resolved later on. I can clip through the wall here. You probably saw at the beginning one of the robots just sort of flew through the wall. The clipping through objects in this is extremely common. It happens all the time. I'm curious if it'll do it this time, but when I tried to play the other procedurally generated level not the procedurally generated level, the static level, in my early research, one of the robots actually got stuck underneath a table, and he couldn't hit me and I couldn't hit him, and we were basically stuck. And you see, this is a very tiny level, and I've actually just about circled around through it, and it says there's 2 robots left. But I have no idea where they are. There's no music in the levels right now either, by the by. It's just in that little pre-menu thing, and it's a very weird sort of somber tune that it has. But, yeah. So the robots look like they're either stuck in the environment somewhere or some other place where I can't get them. So that's just peachy, isn't it? Uh-huh. So, all right. Well, that's that one. But you basically get a little end game screen when you take them out, and you're graded a little bit. That's basically it. So let's go back. Let's go to the other demo level here. Also, this game, minor little bug, but the game unlocks your mouse cursor when you load up a new level, and it won't lock it back until you click the left mouse button once. So if you're playing dual monitors, you have to be careful about that. Another minor thing, but yeah, a little weird. But you can see here there's some nice visual aesthetics, like this sort of glass tabletop. Like, look at that reflection mapping. Like, that is actually really, really nice, you know? And things do have a bit of a shimmer to it, but it all looks good. Like, I actually think the texture work in this is very good. And, you know, frankly, compared to most Unity games, I think it's actually above caliber of what you see in a lot of Unity titles. But again, it's got this shimmer, and you see here we are again. So there's a robot. He's stuck in the table again there. Now, and I took him out. Now, these robots, a lot of them actually subdivide. So when you take them out, they'll actually split into 2, and then you have to take out those 2. And you see here, this is exactly what happened the last time. So I got that one. The other one is stuck under the table here. I can't actually... Oh, did I get him? Oh, I did get him. Okay, good. Before, I actually couldn't hit him, and he won't move. So you're sort of stuck with him under there.
I heard about you.
That voice acting, I assume, is all placeholder as well. When the robots see you and they're like, "Oh, I know you." I'm sure that's placeholder as well. But this is basically it, honestly.
As soon as I see someone, I'm telling on you.
Okay. And don't get me wrong, like, I think the concept of this is kind of cool. You know, it's obviously goofy. It's not self-serious at all. You know, the idea that you are an emergency genetically engineered dinosaur designed to take out robots because, of course, the best way to take out killer robots is to engineer a prehistoric creature. Why not? I mean, that's kind of funny, you know, and it's a fun premise, and obviously you're playing a dinosaur, so this isn't just a first-person shooter. You're not walking around with guns, you know, it's something different. And Arcen is very good at doing different things. That is kind of their MO. Everything they make really, in many ways, defies convention, and it's something I like about them, even though a lot of the titles that they've put out have not really appealed to me. I think that's pretty cool. And I like what they've got going here, but honestly, I know Arcen's a small team, and I know Arcen has had their ups and downs financially, and they probably need whatever fan funding they can get to help make this game a reality. I do empathize with that, but this is a tech demo. It's a prototype. While I really appreciate that they are charging people less who buy into early access, this is so janky and so basic in its current form, it feels like it should be free. I hate to say it. Now, I understand you buy this for $5. Oh, you can actually zoom out. I didn't even know that. You know, you can buy this for $5, and you'll obviously get to play it as it gets closer to release and gets more expensive. And when it does come out, by the way, they are saying that this game is going to be done in late 2016. If that's the case, they must be crunching really hard, because this doesn't feel even close to done to me. Like, not even a little bit. But that's what their Steam page says. Like, I understand you can buy into this super cheap now for $5 and, you know, have the what will eventually be the full version for 33% of its price. That's cool, but this really feels more like something they should have put out for free to get some fan feedback and launched in early access with the same, you know, the business model of charge less for early backers, but it should have been further along, in my opinion, before they put it out. I have no qualms with them doing this for both for promotion and to get feedback, because Arcen is genuinely a developer that really takes fan feedback to heart, and I do really appreciate that. There's just nothing here, and there's not much to give feedback on other than please make it run better and please put a game in here. Like, there's just nothing to it. And also, once again, I can't find the last robot. The first time I played this, I was able to complete the levels, but can't do it here either. So, but here's the main thing. So, apartment, science, sewer, and industrial. So this is a procedurally assembled level that generates ahead of time using multiple different environments. So, procedural generation is all the rage right now for pretty good reason, and this is clearly where the meat is going to be of this thing, is having you know, new different levels every time that you can repeat. Cool, I like that. This is kind of funny. So yeah, so you start in an alleyway that looks like this, kind of looks like if someone took the build engine and tried to modernize it in some way. Okay, so this is sewer. So the last time I played this, it put me into like an apartment building that pretty much looked like it was ripped straight out of Mirror's Edge. It looked like kind of like a Swedish minimalist apartment building that had a lot of primary colors and things like that, but it didn't flow together well. It clearly felt like a tile set, you know, just squared rooms that were being, you know, clipped together as you went, which is very much what this is as well. And in this mode, what there is there's a few enemies in this game right now. They are promising a much more enemy variety as they get closer to release. But you can also see here the doors don't really make a lot of sense. So what's happening is Father Brain is in here somewhere, but there are smaller enemies that are powering his shields for some reason, and you have to take out those smaller enemies before you can destroy him. In addition to that, though, the enemies will only power his shield when they've been aggroed. So if they haven't seen you and haven't activated yet, and you can get to Father Brain without them seeing you, then his shield will be gone. So as you can see right now, there's no skybox. We're in Raptor heaven, I guess. And that's the idea. I have not gotten to Father Brain yet because, well, as you can see, it's extremely hard to find your way around the levels. And to their credit, this is one of the things that Arcen said needs to be addressed in these early access builds very quickly, is that they need to have some method to help you get around, either pointers or something a little better than this confusing mini-map down here, because it's very easy to get lost or to just not be able to find where an enemy is hiding, which has kind of been the problem throughout this whole thing. But remember, you can't die. The only thing you're graded on is how many hits you're taking in this mode. And this is going to be a mode in the final game, they say, because this is also the mode that they hope the speedrunning community will take advantage of. So there is... okay, there's another set of stairs over there, so maybe we go up there. So there are going to be other modes, and there are going to be modes where you have a traditional health bar and things like that.
I'm on guard duty.
Ah, yes, here's the Mirror's Edge apartment. So... I mean, just look at this. Like, this is literally, right now, again, early access, I know, but this is so early access, it basically looks like this is, like a 12-year-old got his hands on Unreal Engine and, well, Unity in this case, and just clicked the mouse button a bunch of times in a level generation tool and hit go. You know, the fact that they have a procedural generation system in place is cool. Oh, there's Father Brain. But there's still a super bot powering his shield, so I can't actually take it. What the hell? I can't. So I can't take him out right now. So I have to find that spider bot, which is somewhere, I don't know where, and then take out Father Brain. So, yeah, you get the idea here. There's just...
Let an animal in here.
Oh, wow, there's a bunch of dudes in here. So your basic attacks, as you can see here, are you can bite, which is good for things in front of you. You can do like a little swipe thing, which is very short range because raptors have tiny arms. But you can swipe guys off of you, and you can also lunge. And the lunge is actually pretty handy, both for traversal in general, but also because if you can land it well, you can just wreck things with that. That's the basics of it here. Yeah, it's just... I mean, it's broken. It's kludgy. It's broken. It's, you know, you can see all the texture, the weird texture things going on here. Like, nothing with this is remotely finished yet. Even for early access, this feels kind of ridiculously early. And, you know, I am very skeptical on early access. I've said that before, but it can be done well. I feel like this came out way too soon, and I honestly feel like Arcen is probably hurting themselves more than helping by putting this out in such an early state like this. This feels like one of those games that was thrown together out of Unity Asset Store stuff and put out on Steam by for $2 by a scammer who's hoping to get a bunch of sales from gullible people who don't know any better, which is rather amusing because Steam refunds have kind of made that irrelevant now. And that people like Jim Sterling use to, to farm easy clicks for his YouTube channel. That's what this feels like right now. But I know it's not that because it's from Arcen, and Arcen has made good games. Arcen knows how to make good games. And this probably will end up being that, but, ooh, shortcut. Whoa, okay, I'm clipping all over the place here. And you see a lot of these doors don't even work, so a lot of this stairwell is kind of irrelevant, things like that. They have, Arcen has chops, and I'm sure they have the chops to eventually turn this into something interesting. Where the hell is this now? But, oh my god. But it's not there yet. All you have is a kind of hilariously broken idea for something. Oh, hey, that was the spider bot. So now it says find and destroy Father Brain. So okay, well I didn't think this video was going to be this long, to be honest with you, but let's get back there and see if we can actually take him out, because I would just like to see what happens. What the hell? Okay, I'd just like to see what happens with that. Okay, so we're actually right back at the beginning. So, okay, I think we can do this. But yeah, I personally, what I say with early access, I will, as I do with PXA Peeks, I will continue to follow this game through early access and do another video on it on its final release. But in its present form, I don't think you should go anywhere near this at the moment. If you really love Arcen and you really want to help support them, because they're a developer that you don't want to see go away, I appreciate that. And maybe you trust them enough to be like, yeah, you'll get this where it needs to go. That's cool. But right now, I think they are doing early access right in one regard and very much not in another regard, because I don't think... I think even for early access, this is too early. And something in this condition, I don't think should be sold for money. I don't mean any offense by that. Like I said, Arcen are not scam developers. They are not, they are not trying to make a crappy Unity Store asset flip for easy money. They are better than that. But there's just this is barely a game. Like there's nothing here. Except a very faint idea, which honestly you could have communicated in a concept video or a playable teaser or something of that nature, which is as easy to do as charging money for it. And I really truly think that maybe this is what they had to do. Maybe they were. Maybe this was the only way this game could get made and the studio could survive, was to charge for it this early. But I honestly think that in the long run, they're going to do themselves more harm by doing it this way. And I can't find friggin' Father Brain now. Sorry. I think they're doing themselves more harm than good by putting something out in this state and charging money for it. I hope I'm wrong, because this looks like a fun, goofy idea. Certainly one that could be polished into something cool, but it isn't that yet. Damn it to hell. Also, there's no fall damage. So, yeah. Where in the hell is Father Brain? I'm really annoyed that I can't find this guy now. He's got to be in here somewhere. But, yeah, that is In Case of Emergency Release Raptor, developed by Arcen Games. This is the hell of early access release of the title. It is presently $5 US or your regional equivalent. It is available on Steam in early access. I would say if you like Arcen Games and want to see... Oh, maybe this is the right way. No, I don't think it is. This takes me back to the alleyway, doesn't it? Damn it! I would say if you are someone who has heard of Arcen Games or, you know, likes them and wants to support them, buy one of their other games that's already out and is already done, and help support the development of this that way. I don't think this is worth money yet. But I will continue to look at it as it comes along, and I do hope it gets to the finish line, because I do want to see what this ultimately turns into. But right now, it's a prototype, and I don't think people should ever have to pay for prototypes. But that's just me. You can make up your own mind. So yes, that, as I said, that is... oh, here it is. In Case of Emergency, Release Raptor. We're going to try to... Let's go find Father Brain, take him out, and end this on that note. There you are, you bastard.
Back the other way, now.
Die, 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 die. I'm not really hurting him. It doesn't appear. I don't know why. Am I supposed to take out these tanks? Oh, dear. Dear, dear, dear indeed. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you next time.